That's some white people shit, a sentiment that is expressed too often to black goths, metalheads, and otherwise dark alternative individuals. It is ironic that these genres, which were born under the rock and roll umbrella, would ever be classified as white, when rock music would not exist without black musicians like Sister Rosetta Tharpe,
Hey, children, rain or yes.
Little Richard,
Little Richard and Tutti Frutti.
Fats Domino,
You made me cry when you said goodbye. Ain't that a shame? My tears feel like rain.
and Chuck Berry. So as the title of the recently released song by nu metal act Cinnamon Babe says, rock and roll is black. It always has been, it always will be. So here are 10 artists in goth, rock, and metal to sink your ears into. Please share your favorite artists in the comments. Did you know that Bauhaus is largely accepted as the first official goth band? Bauhaus lists reggae and dub, which were both genres coming out of Jamaica in the late 1960s, as their influences. In a whole other way, without the music and influence of black musicians, there would be no Bauhaus and possibly no goth. Scary Blak. Scary Blak is a solo darkwave act coming out of Louisville, Kentucky. Albie Mason has been releasing music under the name Scary Blak since 2018. They have carved out a distinctive sound, but still continue to surprise us by experimenting with new musical elements. Albie is exceptionally skilled at bringing out what's influencing them at the time and what they're feeling inside. When there's anguish, you can hear it. When there's a smile through the hard times, you can hear it. When they've been listening to The Cure on loop, you can hear it. Here's a clip of the most recent release, The Fallacy of Worth. Oh Children. Named after a Nick Cave and the Bad Seed song, Oh Children was a London-based band that formed in 2008 and released their last album in 2012. With a wall of sound reminiscent of the biggest goth acts in the 90s, Oh Children has music that will haunt your eardrums until you put one of their songs or albums on loop. We can only hope that their vocalist and frontman Toby O'Candy does come back to take over their genre. They were ahead of their time, and I think the world is ready for more O'Candy goth. Pitch After Dark. Pitch After Dark is a dark post-punk musical duo that was birthed during the despair of the 2020 pandemic. Their first release, Trapped Inside, expressed so clearly and so honestly what many were collectively experiencing during lockdown. Looking back, it makes you want to laugh and cry.
I want to dance the way we did before we were all trapped inside. Now here we are, along for the ride, into the unknown. Shelter and hide is what we do to survive, living in isolation, trapped inside.
Sometimes life is so unbelievable it can seem like a parody. But Pitch After Dark purposefully creates music that serves as a cathartic release to inspire listeners to find their way through the dark times, and their music certainly does just that. The stripped down and catchy sounds created by members Perry Dark and Taff Severe invoke a feeling of fun, but they also unlock something deeper inside that gets exercised when listening to their music. Here's a clip from their most recent release, Turn It Around. Urban Heat. With an extremely danceable mixture of 80s and modern sounds, Urban Heat has gained notoriety in their local scene in Austin, Texas, and has started to take over larger audiences by playing Darker Waves and Crew World Festival in 2023. Members Jonathan Horstman, Kevin McClain, and Paxel Foley have been on tour with Vision Video and more recently Twin Tribes. Their live show has been described as energetic and exciting, and they certainly have the sound that will get people dancing at your local goth club.
There's just no future left for us.
Here's a clip from one of their most recent releases. Juan Black and Black Sunday. Juan Black is a vocalist, musician, YouTuber, and veteran of the punk and goth scenes across the country. Juan puts out insanely catchy tunes with his solo project, Juan Black.
City lights along the boulevard, 3 a.m. all alone. Only my thoughts keep me company. Another night like any other night. Another night like any other night.
Juan also releases anthems for a generation with his band Black Sunday. You might be able to catch them live in Indianapolis. Here is one of their most recent songs that was released on their latest album, on Halloween of 2023. Before we leave the goth realm and switch into heavier genres, I would like to highlight a musical group that are newer to me, so I'm not as familiar with them. And while they don't appear to be currently active, they are absolutely worth highlighting. The band is Bastet, self-described as dark punks, raw and heavy, divine and groovy. Bastet is Bats in the Belfry translated into sound. The beautiful, creepy, and iridescent vocals of Princess Poison Adonis is captivating and would be enjoyable by fans of Cinema Strange. I wasn't able to find what Princess Poison Adonis is up to now, but let's send good vibes and intentions her way. One of the biggest and most influential names in the rock and metal scenes is Tosin Abasi. Tosin Abasi is the music and guitar deity that revolutionized how modern progressive guitar is played. Most known for being the founder and lead guitarist in the band Animals as Leaders, Tosin Abasi blew up the scene in a big way. I came across an article that said it better than I could ever say it, so here's a bit on how Tosin has transformed music. Abasi's music is unique in different ways. The first and probably most noticeable is his use of 8-string guitars. He is not the first person to use 8 strings, but he most certainly was one of the first to utilize them to their full potential. Before Animals as Leaders, 8-string guitars were mainly utilized by bands like Meshuggah in order to get a very deep, low-tuned, heavy sound that revolved around the low 8th string. The rest of the guitar tended to be ignored even though it offered such a wide range of tonal and technical possibilities. Abasi frequently uses his full range of notes all over the fretboard and across every string. He also does much more than pick and chug on the low 8th string. The most recognizable contribution Abasi has made to this style of music is his unique take on slapping and thumping, which were mainly bass guitar techniques which he adapted to guitar. These techniques, tapping, sweeping, slapping, and thumping, achieve a variety of different sounds in addition to traditional techniques. He is not the inventor of these techniques, but he has certainly adapted them to fit his own style of music, as well as popularizing them among the progressive metal audience and scene. For instance, tapping and sweeping have been a part of guitar music for quite some time, dating back to mid-1900s, and made their way into metal music around the 80s. But combined with Abasi's 8-string prowess and technical ability, he has made the techniques into something very much his own. The musical context they are played in is so much different than what previous guitarists have done. Abasi's playing style is unique, creative, and was almost unimaginable until he brought it forth through Animals as Leaders. He is a guitar playing legend, and he has been recognized for it in magazines and websites all over the world. Now Tosin even has his own guitar and gear line. So this segment was a little longer than the rest, but that is just because this is the influence Tosin has had. So please enjoy a sound from one of the most recent releases by Animals as Leaders. Alien Lord. Getting into the heavier realm, another new to me band, Alien Lord, is a band created by Eli Arnold. Fun fact, you can spell Alien Lord using the same letters in Eli Arnold, and that is part of why he chose the name. I believe this was recommended by a fan on TikTok. I was introduced to Eli on TikTok in 2022 when I was focusing on metal content. I'm excited to share that Eli has recently released his first single under Alien Lord, Disintegrate. If you enjoy a combination of heavy and melodic with a wide range of vocals, Alien Lord is for you.
What's up, guys? We are live right now on Twitch. Come and hang out. The link is in my bio. We're live right now. We're doing a 24-hour stream. Come and hang out. Let's have some fun. I'm going to be doing a live Zolta performance later, so come and check it out.
Leo McClain. Worm Shepherd is a band I got into in 2022 as well. They do blackened deathcore in a way that is more interesting, diverse, and progressive, which allows them to stand out. With sounds this intense, unique, and assaulting, you need an extraordinary drummer, and that's what Worm Shepherd had with Leo McClain. Leo McClain is no longer the drummer of Worm Shepherd, but he did join Immortal Disfigurement for a while to deliver some more percussive brutality. Currently without a band, Leo is way too good of a drummer to go without getting scooped up for long.
Hi, my name is Lwandile Prusent. I play guitar in Vulcadinia, and we are currently on the Tech Trek 5 tour with Archspire, Entheos, and Infuri. And it's been a pretty amazing tour. Most of the shows have been sold out, and we've just been having a blast.
Vulcadinia is a band that blurs the boundaries between slamming deathcore and brutal death metal. They were founded in 2014 and were joined by their guitarist, Lwandile Prusent, in 2020. After their previous vocalist allegedly attempted to murder their drummer in 2023, Lwandile also became the vocalist of Vulcadinia and has widely been received as an excellent replacement for their previous member. Here's footage of the guitarist turned vocalist performing with Vulcadinia live.
If you can see, the numbers all go to 11. Look, what we do is if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Saving one of my absolute favorites in this genre for last, we have Zavius, who is the vocalist of the Ogre Packet Slammers, Manolith, and his solo project Zxyvixs. Zavius has a YouTube channel where he does many insane covers of some of the most brutal songs out there. The Ogre Packet Slammers is a band dedicated to the blood and gore-filled life of Shrek. Lyrics are not for the faint of heart, as they describe Shrek doing some pretty horrendous things. Normally, these lyrics might be off-putting to some, but thinking about them in the context of Shrek carrying out these acts of violence kind of makes them hilarious. So that was a list of 10 Black artists and bands with Black musicians.
11.
In goth, metal, and the legacy of rock and roll. Of course, there are so many more Black artists in all of these genres. This is just scratching the surface. Please share in the comments who your favorite Black musicians are, and if you learned of any new to you artists that you enjoyed the sound of today. For those of us who love music and dark alternative scenes like goth and metal, we need to continue to dismantle the concept that this is white people spaces. Goth is Black, metal is Black, rock and roll is Black. Obviously, that doesn't mean white people and musicians aren't a big part of the scene, but it means it shouldn't be seen as inherently white. To say rock and roll is Black is to recognize that without Black musicians, rock and roll would not exist. And for that, rock and roll and all of its dark alternative subgenres have been and always will be some Black people shit.
I've had enough to turn it around again. I've had enough to take it all back. Have you ever thought the best would come till you realize that it had come and gone? Have you ever got a second chance just to fall a step and repeat the dance? I said I've had enough to turn it